What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Eastside Flop. I'm Eric G, and today we are going to be talking about something that I usually wouldn't cover, but I think it's a very interesting topic, and I want to kind of dive into it and give my opinion and do a little bit of a comparison. So we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers in today's video, and we're going to be talking about how they're ruining baseball, quote unquote, and we're going to look at what people are saying, what the arguments are, and kind of do a deep dive into this. So let's get started here right away. The first thing I want to look at is these are the MLB salary. It's the payroll per year for the MLB. Now we look here and you can see that teams like the Pirates, the Rays, the Athletics, Marlins, all of these are lower teams. The Orioles have jumped up, they're 16th. But who are the top four? It is the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Phillies. And if you know anything about baseball, these are normally the playoff teams. And it seems to be that these are the four teams that are always in it. If you go to, this is a different source, this has different averages. I don't know if this is more accurate since it is in real time. So this is probably considering that we're into the playoffs now, which would make the Dodgers, the Mets, Phillies, and then Yankees. However you order them, they are always the top four. It doesn't matter which source you look at. But here's the thing. The Dodgers are spending about $321 million per year, which is an absurd amount of money. And it is a lot of money. And if you look over here, I have the NFL salary cap tracker. Now, this is kind of close to the NFL averages. And the reason I picked the NFL is because it's obviously NFL is more popular. If you think that it's not, I don't know what's wrong with you. Right now, it's NFL is probably the most popular sport in America. And that's just how it is. Don't get me wrong. Baseball is popular. People watch baseball, but the NFL has basically a $1 billion monopoly on everything they do. The NFL is the main sport right now. So you look at this, and it's not too far off. You're seeing 293 million. You have 314. I skipped over it. No, I didn't. 314 million. You have kind of a range. 300 million. You have a range. Now here's the thing that is more interesting, the dead money aspect and kind of the cap space and all that, and why people are saying that this is ridiculous for the Dodgers. Because when you go back and you look at the MLB, you notice how all of these numbers are pretty close to each other, right? You see the teams are spending basically the same amount of money because there's a salary cap, right? You can't go over that. There's obviously dead money, and owners can get kind of creative with how they use the dead money and the cap space and how they use all of that and how they do contracts. But they're generally, all the teams are spending the same amount. Now you jump back to the MLB, and there's a huge jump in these numbers. Hundreds of millions of dollars. If you were to take the Orioles, for example, which on this one is 159 million, and compare that, that's almost they literally have double what the Orioles have. So there's clearly a huge difference, and that can be a competitive difference. And if you say otherwise, you're an idiot. And that's just facts. You look at this over here, you look at this, you see, this is just kind of how it is. It's a huge, it's hundreds of millions of dollars in jumps from these teams, and it's ridiculous to look at the top teams in these numbers. It isn't competitive. How these kind of small market teams, you see these two teams down here, both made the playoffs. They played each other. You're seeing that these small market teams are somehow able to compete, and it's because of a farm system. The problem with what is going on with the Dodgers is that everybody wants these big money contracts. Everybody wants kind of the big $100 million deal. And when you look at these deals, I have them pulled up here. This is insanity with what these players are getting paid. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani has $700 million, and it's the way that the Dodgers are kind of getting away with this is they're doing deferred money. And this is crazy because they have a lot of deferred money. So to be fair, they're hopefully, I mean, if somebody is spending this much in deferred money to a baseball organization and still doing it, it's a problem, because this amount of money that I'm about to tell you is ridiculous and should be used for better things. 680 million is deferred, 115 million. A lot of these big contracts, 700 million, 365 million, 182 million. Obviously, Soto got like also close to 700 million. He got a huge contract. I forget exactly what the number was. It could be more. Will Smith got these big contracts, 89.5 million. Like Tommy Edman getting 74 million. Tanner Scott getting 72 million. Like, it's crazy. They're getting all of this money, but they're deferring it so that they can keep buying and getting new players. And here's the problem. It's not that they are going and spending money. It is the way they are doing it. Deferred money has always been a thing. You go, I'm going to pay you this certain salary amount, and then later on it's going to increase. I'm only going to get paid 50 million right now, but that's going to increase, right? So you're deferring the money toward later when they're kind of not playing, so that while they're playing, they're making a lower amount, and then once they start to get to the end of their career, it's more money paid to them. The Dodgers have $1.039 billion in deferred money, and there's the problem. The fact that the Dodgers have this much in deferred money is a disgrace. It is ridiculous to defer this amount of money. This is a big problem. You're basically spending $1 billion for a team to play right now. Yes, this money is deferred. They're paying it later. And yes, if you go back here, you'll see that their average is 321 million. But that is insane money to be giving and then deferring. You should either have to pay that money up now or don't pay it at all, because $1 billion deferred is insanity. The New York Mets and Boston Red Sox attained just 50 million in deferred deals. This is a problem. Now, all owners can do this. I totally understand. If you're a Dodgers fan, you're like, yo, like every team could do this. Absolutely. But there are other problems that need to be addressed in the world. To spend this much on a baseball team at any point is absurd. And if you can't see that, there is a problem. $1 billion could go to so many things. It could go to homelessness. It could go to ending hunger in America. It could go to a lot of other things that are more important than baseball. And that is the problem. The world doesn't revolve around baseball. And the Dodgers are making it. And the Dodgers are forcing these owners to put a lot of money into teams and defer a lot of money. And is it worth it? I don't believe so. This is another crazy stat to look at. Let's look at the Orioles' highest contracts and payroll. They were 17th in the league in 2025. They've consistently been pretty low. 30, 29, 22nd, 17th. You look at their highest paid players and their salary, it's not even half of what a lot of these Dodgers are getting paid. You go back here, look at these contracts. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on the Dodgers that are almost like 7 times what the highest paid Oriole is. And that's a problem. Some of the higher paid Orioles, like 3 times as much, is insanity because they're deferring that money. But you're still spending that money, and that's what people don't understand. I've seen a lot of people argue, hey, look, we're only, we're right in the mix for the Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Phillies, but their time is running out because they didn't defer that money. And is that their fault? Absolutely. But the fact that just because it's deferred, you still are spending $1 billion on a team. There is no need to spend that much. The NFL isn't spending $1 billion on a team. You go back here, they're not spending $1 billion. It's outrageous. Yes, they are spending a lot per year. But the NFL is popular. They're getting money, and their players deserve to be paid that much. These players are getting hit. CTEs on a rise. There's a reason that they deserve this money. And yes, you can go and look at these NFL contracts. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. That was the average per value. And yes, 450 million, 330 million, 275 million. These are crazy contracts. These are crazy contracts. But their salaries are still pretty reasonable. And there's a salary cap. So it makes it competitive. The teams that are doing this pay the price. Literally. Like, it hits you in your salary cap. So I think that people don't understand that deferring money and spending $1 billion when you should be spending that money somewhere else, doing community work. And I get it. These teams do community work in the cities that they are in. But to have $1 billion deferred is insane. It is ridiculous. It is a problem. Something needs to be done. I think the season needs to be shorter because these players deserve the money because they play a long time. The season needs to be shorter. There doesn't need to be 162 games, 163 games of fucking baseball. 100 games max and playoffs. Hell, I would be happy with 90 games max and playoffs. Give these guys time and rest so that they can get their money. But there needs to be either just a salary cap or a salary floor and a salary cap. The Dodgers are proving that because deferring all of this money is just insanity. Yes, I go back and I see this number, but I mean, I just can't understand it. It's right there. It's right here. $1 billion in deferred money in the last half decade, in the last 5 years. It's insanity. And it needs to change. It's just what it is. The fact that it's making the game less competitive is a problem. You shouldn't be able to have good teams like this for this long period of time because you're deferring money. It should be competitive. You should follow. The MLB should not be special. I get it's a longer season, but maybe there needs to be a holdout. There needs to be a renegotiation of the season, what it looks like, and we can talk about these numbers because this money is crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments now that you've seen everything, now that you've heard my opinion on it. I think the season needs to be shorter and there needs to be a floor and a salary cap so that it is more competitive like the NFL is, because any team can go anywhere in the NFL. We've seen it. NFL is popular because it's competitive. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and hopefully we will see you in the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoy. Follow me on Instagram if you're a Baltimore sports fan at Eastside_Flock. See you on the next one. Peace.